You know the drill. With a few weeks before BT12 officially drops, it's time to go over an obligatory set review for BT12 Booster Across Time. As always, if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. Booster Across Time introduces a slew of red cards, and surprisingly, every card goes into an existing deck or archetype. This set will be less good for sealed, mainly because older cards come into play. But don't worry, I'll still give an opinion of each one, and remember, these are all reviews and analysis based on first impression. Starting off with red, it's simply Digimon. Yes, Digimon. Not Digimon, Digimon. I bring up the argument again because if it was Digimon, is it Jewelmon, Drowmon, Wardrowmon, Gallantmon? But I digress. This baby on your turn adds plus 1000 DP to the maximum of DP based deletion effects. While it does add more bang to your buck with Gallantmon-esque effects, this is where you have to keep in mind it's only your turn, not all. A wording I really wish Guilmon got. Personally, I still prefer the EX2 Digimon for draw power. Moving to level 3s, Guilmon returns as a searcher that on play reveals 4 cards and adds all Takato Matsuki to your hand. With the fact that there could be now 8 Takatos potentially in a deck, you have a good chance of hitting them. Its inheritable provides DP buffs to your Growlmon and Gallantmon named Digimon, a whopping 2000 DP. This is a new inheritable I love because, let's be real, Gallantmon sometimes is too small, even Crimson mode. Shoutmon also returns as another cross-heart Digimon that can Digivolve from a level 2 with text that contains save. After doing some research, you lose Pikmons but gain BT12 Monimon as your target. Personally, I still prefer Pikmons as your draw engine, but that's just me. This Shoutmon also has an on-deletion save and an inheritable when attacking effect that if the Digimon has save in its card text, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. Underwhelming in my opinion for a Shoutmon. But Flamemon! Flamemon has an on-play effect on par with the Dorumon from BT9. On play, trash one hybrid Digimon from your hand and draw 2. This can accelerate putting your hybrids in the trash without having to swing and even bring yourself closer to that ancient Greymon play. Its inheritable gives your hybrid or 10 warriors Digimon plus 2000 DP. An excellent inheritable to guarantee survival as more and more Digimon get 15,000 or even 16,000 DP. Diving to level 4s, Growlmon takes the first slot and lets you play Takato Matsuki when Digivolving if you don't have one without paying its memory cost. More cards are becoming more like EX1 Tyrannomon and BT5 Kurosarimon. But we all can't have effects like BT12 Greymon, which I'll get there, with multicolored cards. Again, the inheritable is identical to Guilmon, giving you a plus 2000 DP. I really wish Bandai had done this sooner for Gallantmon decks, but now with so much DP based deletion effects, I kinda wish they had done it for this set. Stands to be more cohesive as a core. As for Shoutmon King version, move aside Secret Rare from BT10, because this boy is awesome. On play or when Digivolving, you can play one Taiki Kudo, Yua Mono, or Tagiru Akashi. For this discussion, I'll focus more on the Taiki portion, because those colors are more aligned to one another. While you no longer get the ability to return one card with Digicross requirements, you do get to save this Digimon underneath one of your Tamers, then save another card from your trash under one of your Tamers. Digimon now checked in security have a higher chance of being brought back. Luckily, you can also Digivolve on top of your level 3s and save them too once this guy gets deleted. And like all other Digimon so far, its inheritable is identical to its rookie counterpart. Agunimon also joins the new set as a Digimon that can Digivolve from explicitly Takuya Kimbara, not just any red Tamer for 2, and also a Burning Greymon for 1. Hey, we can finally slide Evolve between human and beast for a giant stack. On deletion, you can play one Flamemon from your hand suspended without paying its memory cost. And finally, its inheritable on deletion plays one Takuya Kimbara from your hand without paying its memory cost. For some reason, initial read-throughs make me think that Neemon is going to be better, but that's just copium on my end. Burning Greymon does almost the same main effects as Agunimon, except it can Digivolve from Agunimon for 1. Additionally, when Digivolving, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. Meaning if you go from OG Takuya to Agunimon to this Digimon, you meet the requirements of 10,000 DP to swing for an extra check. Omni Shoutmon, on the other hand, adds more synergy to the existing Shoutmon archetype and digivolves from any level 4 that contains save. Could be Darulumon, could be Ballistamon even. But when digivolving, you choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 4000 DP or less, and delete them. You can add 3000 DP to this effect for every 2 Digivolution cards. And finally, if you have 4 or more Digivolution sources, this Digimon gains Security Attack +1. On initial review, I feel like this card won't see any play at all, considering it doesn't even feel good outside of save-type decks. Aldamon, on the other hand, is interesting. It pulls back from a lot of the TV show, combining the human and beast spirits of Fire from the Trash, and a Takuya to Digivolve for 3. While you do need 3 memory to do this, there are ways to get there. And on deletion, you can return 1 Takuya Kambara from the trash to your hand. Meaning if your effects align correctly, if Aldamon's deleted with a Flamemon from BT7, you can choose the order of Aldamon returning first before Flamemon procs, and place Takuya from your hand for free. But War Growlmon is the last level 5 to discuss before we head to the boss monsters. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. If no Digimon is deleted, you may digivolve into a Digimon with Gallantmon in its name in your hand by paying the Digivolution cost. If you digivolve this way, reduce the cost by 1. Honestly, I wish they had made it a free Digivolution. You can see the power creep distinctly between main characters, considering Shine Greymon is one of those Digimon that gets more free Digivolutions in future sets. Honestly, I kind of like it, but I also kind of don't. I'd have to test with this. But now, it's time for the boss monsters. Emperor Greymon has Security Attack +1, and when you digivolve, you can nuke a Digimon with 6000 DP or less. But if this Digimon has a red Tamer in its Digivolution sources, delete a Digimon with less DP than or equal to this Digimon. Meaning depending on your Takuya, you could already have existing DP buffs to help it delete most, if not any, Digimon. And finally, on deletion, play a Takuya from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost. I love this boss monster in many elements. While it does not have Blitz, it does have removal elements that I really love. And finally, Gallantmon returns as a Digimon with Raid. When digivolving, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. When attacking, you do the same thing, but if no Digimon was deleted, you trash the top card of their security. But the best part is, if you have the right Tamers out, not only can you raid and switch attack targets to one of your opponent's Digimon, but you can also Blitz. Meaning in an optimal scenario, you digivolve in a Gallantmon, Takato gives it Blitz, declare when digivolve effects to attempt to delete any 6000 DP or less Digimon, then Blitz officially. Raid lets you switch attack targets to an unsuspended Digimon with the highest DP, and if you don't delete a Digimon, you trash the top card of their security, and run over another one of their Digimon. But you know what else you could do to make it more complicated? X-antibody. If this Gallantmon had X-antibody, you can then digivolve into Gallantmon X for 1 and delete one more Digimon. While this does introduce a lot of removal, Gallantmon in my mind is still subpar. Jumping to Tamers, there's Taiki Kudo, a 3-cost red Tamer that lets you load a Digimon with a save under it to draw 1. When your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with save in its card text, suspend this Tamer and place 1 card from under your Tamers at the bottom of that Digimon's Digivolution cards to reduce the cost by 1. Honestly, I don't have as much nostalgia to Fusion as I did with the older series, and for me, Crossheart is a very oversaturated archetype, much like Greymon. But Takuya Kambara is where hybrid support gets hella spicy. Behold, a memory fixer that also gives an inheritable. Not to mention, like all memory fixers and Tamers, it plays itself when it's hit in security. This Tamer gives a DP buff that makes it so that you get a plus 2000 DP to your hybrid, but if you exceed 10,000 DP, you get the bonus effect of 2 memory when you take a security. I wonder what Bandai will do for Blue Hybrid, but actually let's not think about that. Likewise, Takato Metsuki joins the memory setting crew, and introduces for the first time, Biomerge Digivolution. You place Growlmon, War Growlmon from the trash, and a Takato that is out on the battlefield to digivolve into a Gallantmon in your hand for its Digivolution cost. Honestly, it's not bad considering you mill with the deck as well sometimes. Gallantmon was one of those decks that badly needed a memory fixer, and this fixes another part of the problem. I'll be doing extensive testing with this deck because I loved Tamers. With that, there are only 2 cards left to go over in the mono-red category. Pyro Dragons, a 4-cost option card that deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less, then gives one of your Digimon 3000 DP and can attack your opponent. This felt a little weak to me, considering Fire Drake Strike feels infinitely better, considering you now have a Memory Fixer Takuya to work with it as well. And the last card? Final Cross Blade. For 9 memory, delete one of your opponent's Digimon, then unsuspend Shoutmon Cross 7 Superior Mode and that Digimon attacks. In Security, it just deletes one of your opponent's Digimon. This is one of the most expensive option cards that, while it can be searched with your typical Crossheart core, it's really a win more card. I don't see it in a scenario where you'd use it in a competitive play, but for Sealed, it's removable. There were a lot of new red cards introduced in BT12, but at the same time I feel that a lot of these cards are archetype specific, and in a sealed setting only a handful of these will make a difference. Not to mention, if pull rates are like BT11, having archetype specific cards that connect to one another in 6 packs will be difficult. However, with 4 possible Tamers that are Red Hybrid and Red Tamers have a field day for Sealed. What are your thoughts on the first part of the BT12 set review? Which cards were your favorite? Which felt weak to you? Let me know as I continue breaking down every card by color and where they'll function. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.